Good morning. As the sun rises over the Atlantic, we're greeted by a scene that's both beautiful and a little ominous, hinting at the dynamic weather patterns currently unfolding across the region. Today is Saturday, October 11th, 2025, and our attention turns to the Atlantic Basin, where tropical activity is ramping up. The tropics are alive with movement, and meteorologists are closely monitoring several systems that could impact communities in the coming days. The headline story right now is Tropical Storm Jerry. This system is currently bringing heavy rain, gusty winds, and the threat of flooding to the Leeward Islands, disrupting daily life and travel across the region. Jerry became the 10th named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season on October 7th. While that's a bit later than the historical average, it's a clear reminder that hurricane season doesn't officially end until November 30th, and storms can form well into the fall. Like many Atlantic storms, Jerry originated from a tropical wave that rolled off the coast of Africa. These waves are often the seeds for powerful storms, and this year has been no exception. Jerry's slow movement means that rain is lingering over the Lesser Antilles, increasing the risk of flash flooding and landslides. Residents are urged to stay alert, as conditions can change quickly. Although the season's pace is behind average, it's important to remember that every hurricane season is unique. The timing, intensity, and number of storms can vary greatly from year to year, keeping forecasters and communities on their toes. In addition to Jerry, subtropical storm Karen briefly became the 11th named storm of the season. Karen formed farther north in the Atlantic and quickly transitioned into a post-tropical cyclone, showing how diverse storm development can be. This variety of storm types and tracks highlights just how unpredictable the Atlantic can be in October, with everything from tropical storms to subtropical systems developing in rapid succession. For now, our main concern remains with Jerry and its immediate impacts on the Caribbean islands, where communities are bracing for more rain and possible flooding. Let's take a closer look at what makes this storm so impactful and what residents and travelers should watch for in the days ahead. What exactly is a tropical storm, and why do they matter so much in the Atlantic? A tropical storm is an organized system of thunderstorms with winds between 39 and 73 miles per hour. These storms form over warm ocean waters and can quickly intensify, bringing not just strong winds, but also relentless rain and dangerous waves. Jerry is a textbook example of this, but its main threat isn't the wind, it's the heavy, persistent rainfall that can overwhelm communities and infrastructure. Since Friday, the Leeward Islands have been battered by intense rainfall. Jerry's slow movement means rain lingers longer, raising the risk of flash floods and landslides in vulnerable areas. As the weekend progresses, these heavy rains are expected to spread to the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. The region's steep mountainous terrain makes it especially prone to flooding and mudslides, compounding the danger. Even if Jerry's center remains offshore, its outer rain bands can still unleash torrential downpours, catching residents off guard and causing sudden flooding. That's why local authorities are urging everyone to stay vigilant, monitor weather updates, and avoid areas known to flood easily. It's important to remember that tropical storms can be just as destructive as hurricanes, especially when it comes to flooding and water damage, which often cause the most harm. With Jerry's rain expected to drench the region for several days, communities must prepare for ongoing impacts and stay safe until the threat passes. The biggest danger from Jerry is flash flooding. 2 to 4 inches of rain are expected, with some spots seeing more, potentially an inch per hour. Urban areas and steep hillsides are especially at risk, as saturated ground can trigger landslides and mudslides. These events can destroy homes, block roads, and threaten lives. Residents should heed local emergency advice and be ready to move to higher ground if needed. Most fatalities from tropical storms are water-related, not wind. Jerry's slow movement means prolonged rainfall and elevated risk through the weekend. Stay informed and act quickly if conditions worsen. Some good news. Jerry isn't expected to threaten the U.S. mainland. After the Leeward Islands, it will move northwest, steered away from land by high pressure. By Sunday or Monday, Jerry will turn east and northeast, staying well away from Bermuda. The storm will loop over the central Atlantic and weaken over cooler waters next week. Jerry won't become a hurricane due to strong wind shear disrupting its organization. This hostile environment will keep Jerry a moderate tropical storm before it weakens. It will remain a rainmaker for the islands, but lacks the conditions to strengthen further. The main threat remains heavy rain, not wind. Jerry is the 10th named storm of 2025, forming later than average, which highlights just how unpredictable hurricane seasons can be. Some years, storms develop rapidly and early, while in other years, activity ramps up much later. This year's pattern is a reminder that the timing and intensity of storms can shift from season to season, keeping forecasters and communities on alert. Even if the season seems quiet at first, it only takes one powerful storm to cause major impacts and disrupt lives. Subtropical storm Karen briefly became the 11th named storm of the year, adding to the season's activity. Karen formed unusually far north in the Atlantic and, after a short lifespan, quickly dissipated without strengthening further. As a hybrid system, Karen was large and impressive on satellite images, but ultimately short-lived and not particularly intense. Fortunately, Karen posed no threat to land, remaining over open water throughout its existence. As of today, our main concern is Jerry, which is bringing heavy rain and the risk of flooding to the Lesser Antilles, affecting communities and daily life across the islands. The U.S. mainland is not at risk from these storms at this time, with conditions remaining calm along the coast. However, the islands are facing serious weather conditions, including rough seas, gusty winds, and the potential for flash flooding. This season is a clear reminder to stay prepared and informed, keeping emergency supplies ready and monitoring updates until hurricane season officially ends on November 30th. We'll continue to keep a close watch on the tropics and bring you the latest updates. Stay safe and stay alert.